Level 1. You find a receipt, crinkled, hidden behind a cookbook. Name you know, a city you don't, a time that rings wrong. Your stomach drops. You keep looking, a locked app on their phone, a key taped beneath the car seat, a throwaway line about a job that made you laugh. It wasn't a joke. You can't unsee the numbers. Bank transfers, flights 3 a.m., names crossed out, a map with red pins. Your hands tremble. You think, this can't be right. You tell yourself, it's a mistake. You tell yourself, they're just private. But secrets have weight, and weight presses. You feel it now, a gravity you can't ignore. Silence fills the room. You listen for the truth, but all you hear is your own breath, slow, measured, afraid. You slip the receipt into your pocket. You walk out. You do not tell them what you found. Not yet, not until you know. You promise yourself one thing: proof. Level 2. You start looking for patterns. Patterns are the skeleton of lies. You replay nights. Small details become indictments. They always picked the window seat. They always answered texts with a single word. They never went to family dinners. They had a knack for slipping away. You remember their perfect memory for faces. Remember how their eyes scanned a room like a predator studying terrain. You notice they always knew which street cameras were blind. You notice they always had an excuse for cash. You begin watching them the way you used to watch a storm, not with curiosity, with a careful, hungry attention. You track routines. You map exits from their apartment. You note the brand of their shoes. You learn the timing of their breath. Every clue fits into a growing shape. It points to something organized, methodical, clean. You find a burner phone hidden in a book. Inside, names with strange symbols, a list of addresses. You cross-reference. 2 weeks later, you stand under a street lamp. They exit a building. Different clothes, different posture, different name on their lips. You follow, quietly. You are careful. You tell yourself, stay invisible. Level 3. You tail them to a warehouse by the river. Cargo doors like yawning mouths, the hum of refrigeration units. You keep a distance. The world compresses to a thread of focus. They speak softly into a recorder. Their voice changes, colder, precise. They meet people with satellites for eyes. Transactions pass hands like ritual. You hold your breath until it hurts. You film with your phone. Your thumb shakes over record. They catch your movement, but they don't look surprised. They smile. It is not the smile you know. It belongs to someone else. You step forward. The metal of the railing bites your palms. You think of calling the police, but then you remember the way they looked at you yesterday. Warmth, trust. You remember 1,000 small mercies, and then the man they talk to lifts a finger. A flash, a car appears where none should be. You realize you've been seen all along. You are suddenly very exposed. Your phone buzzes. One message, stop, from them. 2 words that feel like a blade. Level 4. You confront them at midnight. Rain slicks the pavement. Streetlights draw halos. They are waiting at the corner cafe. They look up when you approach. That familiar smile returns like a mask. You land your questions like punches. You speak in a voice that sounds like yours, but isn't. You show them the receipt. You show them the video. You expect denial. You expect shock. Instead, calm. They fold their hands and say, you found out. No apology, no pretense, just a statement.
They explain without theatrics. They tell you about deaths, about threats that came for their sister. They tell you about a past they erased. They tell you about systems that don't care. Their voice is steady, articulate. They speak of plans and execution, of consequences. They do not ask for forgiveness. They expect understanding. You realize their crimes were not random. They served a purpose. In their words, a cause. To you, rationalization. To them, survival. When you press harder, they show you the ledger, names scrawled like prayers, people who lived quietly and disappeared quietly. They insist no one was harmed. They lie about the edges. You can see the truth in their eyes. Something else lives there. Admiration for the architecture of their own crimes. A love for the plan. Level 5. You are offered choices like poison and water. Expose them. Risk your life. Risk theirs. Go to the police. You imagine interrogation rooms. You imagine their calm patience turning to a predator's cleverness. Join them. You can see the seduction, power, money, understanding. They promise no blood, no collateral, just one last job. Walk away. Erase the proof. Become a silent guardian of a terrible secret. You imagine a life compressed by fear. You imagine the constant glance over your shoulder. You imagine the silent phone that could end everything. You weigh each option like a scale, your hands shaking. Their eyes never leave you. You feel them studying you. They know you well. They know what will break you. They know what will bind you. You think of the person they once were. You remember laughing on the beach, the way they made coffee just for you. You think of the people on the ledger. You think of faces you don't want to imagine. There is no clean choice, only worse and less worse. Level 6. You decide. You make the choice like cutting a rope. You choose the least dangerous path, not brave, not noble, practical. You hand them your phone. You hand them your silence. You tell them, one job, then we stop, then we walk. Their smile is small. Relief and suspicion war in it. They nod. You both know the lie. Later, months like quicksilver. You are part of the surface. You get small benefits, no moral victory, only survival. Then, late one night, you find an envelope slid under your door. Inside, photos of you asleep, a receipt, a last line, "You owe me." The ground tilts, your throat closes. You realize the master criminal kept a different ledger, a ledger of leverage. They never needed to force you. They owned you by owning the truth. You are the one afraid now. You begin to watch your back. Paranoia becomes a companion. And still, the work continues. You learn to erase tracks as well as they do. You smell the chemicals. You learn the soft whisper of keys. You betray yourself in half-trained movements. At night, you lie awake. You imagine sirens. You imagine flashlights. You imagine their face in custody. Your hands crave regret. Level 7. 1 year later, a knock at the door. Blue lights paint the hallway. You taste metal. They are standing in the threshold. Police, not for them, for you. They found a thread, a ledger you didn't know existed. You hear them read your name like a verdict. Your friend smiles at you through the chaos, not with guilt, with something colder, a lesson. They had always planned for this. If one falls, both fall. They had spread blame. They had built an illusion of innocence around you. You realize you were never a partner. You were a shield. A willing one, yes, but a shield. Handcuffs click, lights flash. The public will soon sketch your life in headlines. They will not understand nuance. They will not know the rain that erased your choices. They will only see a number, a criminal, guilty. You look at them for the last time. No whispered apologies, no salvation, only a quiet, "We made this together." Or maybe it was only said to ease their conscience. You are led away, and the city swallows you. Final beat. You learn something behind bars. Secrets are contagious. They spread from hand to hand. Trust is a currency criminals trade. And in the end, you are left with a question that will never leave you. Who were you protecting? Them? Yourself? Both? Neither. The answer changes with the light. Outside, your friend walks free for now, a smile like a blade. You think of the little receipt that started it all, a tiny thing, one small slip in a web of intention. You understand then how easily someone becomes unknowable, how someone you loved can be architecture and danger, how perfect competence can be monstrous, and you realize the darkest truth. The feeling of having known someone deeply is a luxury. People are performance.
And sometimes you only ever loved an effect. Fade out. You whisper into the dark. If they'd been your real friend, would they have made you choose? Silence answers. Like and subscribe for more videos.